Got some concerning news coming out of the UK this morning that was in my headlines that I went through. Man, I'll tell you what, their situation with fuel over there is a dire, dire situation. At least it would appear so. Let's jump on over to the article I have here, and we'll see what it has to say. The headline is 90% of fuel pumps run dry in major British cities after panic buying frenzy. So the article reads, the Petrol Retailers Association has claimed that in some parts of the UK, 90% of pumps are dry after Britons descended on forecourts, even as government promised there was nothing to worry about. We are unfortunately seeing panic buying of fuel in many areas of the country, Gordon Balmer, executive director of the Petrol Retailers Association, told Reuters on Monday. He called on people to refrain from the fuel buying frenzy. We need some calm. If people drain the network, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, he said. The PRA, which represents independent fuel retailers who now account for 65% of all UK forecourts, said their members had reported widespread shortages with between 50 and 90% of pumps running dry in some areas. Balmer's comments come just days after the government dismissed any talk of fuel shortages and said Britain should go about buying fuel as usual. However, the government's remarks were not heeded as queues formed outside petrol stations across the country throughout the weekend. Many stations were forced to close as eager motorists queued up for fuel. On Monday, Environment Secretary George Eustace said the government would not be calling on the Army to deliver fuel to dry fuel stations across the country. We have no plans at the moment to bring in the Army to actually do driving, Eustace stated, but added Ministry of Defense trainers are being drafted to clear a backlog of heavy goods vehicle during tests. Fuel shortages have been linked to a dearth of HGV drivers as forecourts have struggled to get deliveries on time. While the government is attempting to get Britons to become HGV drivers, on Sunday, Westminster announced an extension to the state's visa scheme. Now 5,000 HGV drivers will be able to work in the UK for 3 months in the run-up to Christmas, relieving supply chain pressure. So, a little bit of what is going on there in the UK. Hopefully their situation starts to smooth out quickly. I expect to see woes across much of the world, especially involving things like fuel and basic everyday needs. So it's not something I want to see, but it's something that I think is going to happen. So anyway, do what you can to get prepared. That's all we can do. As always, shalom.